Alright, we're streaming. 3, 2, 1. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Retro Game Show. I'm Corey, and of course I'm here with that retro code Eddie V for another round of Super Metroid.
Yes, so last episode we were getting powers. I think now we should be able to get a few more powers and then get to the boss for the second zone or third zone if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah.
So Corey, I want to ask you something.
Oh boy.
It's nothing too bad or anything.
I don't believe you.
There was news that Anthem is getting a 2.0. Let's say that. Why do you think it didn't succeed the first time? And
because it was rushed out and they were forced to use an engine that they didn't want to use. Actually, that's not true. I did read that they chose to use Frostbite over Unreal. So that's on them, I guess. But also, like, I feel like they didn't even have like a clear vision of what that game was, and I feel like BioWare brought Casey Hudson back to like get them back on a track that was, you know, acceptable, you know, and like, because if you listen to interviews and stuff, the flying and stuff at Anthem wasn't even in there until like 8 or 9 months before the game even shipped, and like it wasn't even called Anthem until right before E3. Like they had shirts and stuff that they were gonna wear on stage it was called Beyond, and they weren't even gonna call it Anthem, and then they could trademark Anthem and they couldn't trademark the word Beyond, so they had to create a story around this word Anthem that they weren't even prepared for. So like I feel like they had an interesting idea and like they just never really fleshed it out, and then the way that Frostbite works for games that aren't first person shooters is apparently a nightmare. And you know, something that should take like a day or two took them weeks because of the way Frostbite works, and it just became this huge mess. So I mean, I hope Anthem like succeeds. I liked what I played for the most part. It just didn't really, you know, it didn't click with me, you know, and that's okay. And I know we're gonna do a pod and play episode on it. Jesse and I are gonna do one, I think, on Anthem, just to talk about it before it gets this major overhaul. And I really hope that this overhaul gives the game a chance that it deserves, because I think Anthem is a cool idea, you know, like everybody wants to fly around as Iron Man, right? Like that's a cool idea, and it
should have felt really good.
Yeah, it's funny because the mechanics that they added 9 months before release are the ones that feel the best. You know, like the flying, like everybody should just copy Anthem's flying for anything now, except for the part that like you have to fly through water to cool down your jets, because nobody wants to slow down in that game. You know, it's but oh, whoops. I really hope that Anthem gets a second chance and does well. I would like to kind of go back to it at some point and at least play through the campaign. You know, I'm not planning on spending Destiny amounts of time in it, but I do want to play it. I do want to see. I do want to see how that story ends, and you know, I have it on my backlog challenge list, the story at least, and we'll see, but hopefully they make some better decisions, and hopefully they've been working on this for, I don't know, a year since the game came out. So, I mean, all the pieces are there, right? They just need to clean up the pieces, you know. I really do think the pieces are there to make a great game. It just stumbled, you know.
Do you think it was because of what they showed at E3, that what we see there like wasn't an actual game.
What do you mean?
When they first showed off Anthem, that wasn't the actual game. That was just a CG cutscene.
Oh, well, I mean, that's everything at E3, so. But I think. Man, I don't know. I really don't know. I think. I think the hatred for EA the last, few years or so, mixed with them rushing the game out, even though it got delayed. It mixed with the Frostbite controversy stuff. Like I just think BioWare deserves better. I think Anthem deserves better. I think the developers deserve better, and I just hope that it becomes the game that they want it to be. I think that like I said, it's a cool idea. I think having unique abilities for the suits was a good idea. I think being able to switch the suits on the fly was a great idea, and that's something that I think Destiny could actually learn from them. Be one Guardian that can switch between the 3 classes depending on what you need, right? Instead of having to play all 3 characters all the time. Like, that just sounds terrible. But, and I did it, so, I don't know, man. I think Anthem is a cool idea. I think it was an okay enough experience, and I just hope that they clean it up and have a clearer vision of what they want the game to be. So that's all. What is this thing? Why does it have so many eyeballs? Ooh, there's a missile. Get it.
Take it.
So, I don't know. I really... It's just gonna be interesting because I know they're still working on Dragon Age also, and like now with this Knights of the Old Republic remake kind of showing up, I think that I just hope BioWare is not stretching themselves too thin. And I know they have 2 teams and whatever, but I just hope they're not. I kind of like, part of me wishes that they would like move on, right? From Anthem and just kind of cut their losses, and this is the experience you got for $60. It was a decent experience, and now we're moving on to our next game. I kind of wish Anthem would stay, or BioWare would stay single player, a single player studio, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So, which is okay, I mean, teams deserve to do what they want to do and whatever, and if this is truly what they want to do with the studio, then who am I to tell them what to do?
Right.
But I definitely think, at least for now, BioWare's kind of heyday. They're I think it's.
Don't die.
Why are you gonna die? Yay!
I didn't have enough missiles, and I don't got the charge beam.
Maybe you should get the charge beam.
Yeah, I gotta remember where it's at though.
It's gonna be cold tomorrow, isn't it?
Might be.
Dang. It's gonna be 40 tomorrow. It's gonna be 40 all week until Friday. Nice.
Oh, cool.
Man. But what do you think about it? What do you think about Anthem?
Sorry about that.
This guy. Ed's dying over here, guys.
Got a little tickle on my nose. Sorry about that.
Jeez.
Do not know where that came from. Sorry about that.
Here it goes again. Ah!
Oh.
What is happening over there?
I don't know. I'll be right back. Let me go get some tissue.
Oh boy. Ed's struggling over here, guys. He's struggling. He's struggling, guys. He's struggling. Struggling. Yeah. Anyways, how's everyone doing? Good? Good? Having a... Oh. Here he comes. Here he comes. What's he doing? Here he comes. What's he doing? There he is.
I apologize to everybody. I'm sorry. Felt like I had pepper in my nose and I was just sneezing up a storm.
It's okay. I told everybody that you just kind of fell off the face of the earth. It's fine.
Thank you. So about Anthem. I'm sorry, everybody. I kind of think that it's a good thing that they're kind of going back to the drawing board in a sense. I think that this will give them time to like really focus and knock down some core things that they need. You know, we seen it with Final Fantasy 14. No
Man's Sky, Destiny.
No Man's Sky. Yeah,
I mean,
Destiny.
I mean, it's not a rare problem for these games as a service to have this problem, right? It's just,
yeah.
I think honestly, like I think it was kind of escalated with people's hatred for EA and the coming off of Mass Effect Andromeda, and you know what I mean. Like they had some misses plus EA and everything. Like I think it just highlighted a lot of things. That just this game was just kind of sent out to this, and it's sad, you know.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things that, you know, we were blinded by the trailer. You know, the trailer showed promise of what was going to be up for what we could expect a game like this to be. But we just didn't expect it. Everything that they showed, we weren't going to get. You know, uh, I think they could have just rolled it out. We're just showing us like, this is a game that we have planned for you guys. Um, and this is actual gameplay for it. And I think they should have showed us just that. You
Uh-huh.
know, like I don't think that when you're trying to do a game as like Destiny or as a Division and stuff, that you need um that you need to make it a bigger thing, like
I mean, dude,
Destiny.
look at. I think the best example of a game as a service this generation has been Monster Hunter World. Honestly,
Yes.
like it's not bigger than it needs to be. Your parties are still relatively small. I think it's what, a 4-person party max.
Yeah.
And they keep adding to it, and Iceborne seems to be a success. It's actually a game I really would like to play and get more into. And I know we're gonna do a pot and play episode on it this season, but like I really think that Ice or Monster Hunter World is the one that got it right. And maybe it's because they've actually secretly been doing it for so long. Then it's just been, nobody's really been paying attention because it's been on 3DS for so long. But
Yeah.
I think it's because they have been doing it for so long that they just know what people want, and kind of refining the mechanics and stuff to make it more approachable and console friendly. And then the PC port, I guess, is phenomenal, right? Like I think in Capcom in general has just had this massive resurgence in the last few years, and I think with the revival of Resident Evil and then Monster Hunter becoming the game that I think they wanted it to be. I mean, you forget Monster Hunter World is Capcom's best-selling game ever. Ever.
Yes.
And that includes Street Fighter 2. That includes Resident Evil 4. That includes Resident Evil 2. That includes Mega Man. How many times Mega Man's been re-released. So it's a big deal. And I'm glad. I think Capcom has been doing a fantastic job with everything. Even turning Street Fighter 5 around, which was no small task. So, I mean, Capcom I think is doing it right, and I think everybody can learn a little bit from Monster Hunter World. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I think it was like we talked about, some of the server problems they were having with the beta, um, the multi re-releases. It kind of just felt like they should have just, of course, delayed the game. It just uh came out in May when it first came out. But I think it was something that I personally feel it was something that um, BioWare needed to learn.
Hmm.
It was a game that they needed to be like, if we're going to make a game like this, we need to learn what does it take um, to be this big, to have a game like this. Because I don't think Anthem would have taken the world by storm with what they originally brought to the table. I think they probably would have just uh, been able to get a good, maybe an 8.5, 9.0 game out if they really had the content and stuff there. Um, you know, because it was just, there's something that I think about Destiny that connects a lot of people together with that game. You know, there's something that they had to go through the ups and downs to make it what it is now. You know, and like EA, I mean, Bioware has never did anything like that. You
Hmm.
know, they haven't made anything on a bigger scale of a game. All of their stuff been single player. Um, you want to make me? Oh yeah, all of this stuff have been like single player, um, story driven games where most of the stuff you make are decisions. This is kind of their first game that I could think of where you really don't make a decision. You just get with a party of random people and you guys go shoot monsters and gain levels and get different guns. You know, what else more is there to do?
Yeah.
So I think they learn, and when they go to work on this game, like I was telling Luke, I'm like, hopefully they take out the fetch quest stuff, because that was a problem with this game.
I think like I hope the mission structure changed, because that was like kind of my biggest problem with it. Was like the mission structure is like go to area A, shoot guys, and it's just like massive waves of enemies that you just kill for like 10 minutes. Then you move to the next area, kill like 50, like a couple waves of enemies, go to the next area. Oh, maybe you have to hold X down to you know, trigger some sort of event, right? And then it's still kill waves of guys and the mission's over.
Yes.
You know, and Destiny was the same way for a long time. You know, and I think Destiny's finally in a. I mean, with Forsaken, I think it got to a good place, and now it's even better with Shadowkeep and Bungie being on their own. No, you know, Activision's not holding their hand or anything anymore. So, you know, I hope Anthem gets the. I hope it becomes the game it deserves to be, instead of just an afterthought and what could have been. So, and that's the beauty of the state of games that we live in now, right? Everybody loves a comeback story. Everybody loves, you know, when a game turns itself around. Like, I think so many people love No Man's Sky now, but it took years for that game to turn around.
Mm-hmm.
But I think everybody loves that comeback story, and I think Anthem is primed for it. So,
Yeah, it. A lot of people will hold not so much grudges, but they will hold you to your word. So everything that you promise in the game or you showcase in the game, if it's not there, there will be a fuss about it. There will be questions about it. You know, we talked about it with Blizzard and how they handle some stuff and how Warcraft Reforged is out. Like you kind of got to make sure that if you're going to give all of this stuff and promise all of these things in a game, that everybody expecting you to deliver on day one.
I mean, and I know like a lot of this has to come down to like investors and stuff, like needing to know what the game's going to be and like how much money they're going to make off it or whatever, and they need information. But like, it all comes down to what we kind of talk about too, is like, don't overpromise and underdeliver, right? And that's something that we've been trying to walk that line, you know, and I don't think that we're doing a terrible job at that. You know, I think we're doing all right with delivering content on a pretty consistent basis, and our podcasts are pretty consistent, even if I stay up a little bit later trying to upload it. But you know what I mean? Like, I think that there's a balance to be had, but I think we do an okay job of doing that. And I know like recording videos and editing them is way different than developing a game. I'm not saying that, but like,
yes.
But also like a lot of the people in that business know that business, and I just think that maybe don't don't overpromise and underdeliver, I think is a decent message to have. So, and I know, like, with writing and stuff, if you want to change something, that comes with a whole new set of asset creation and story changes and voiceover work and all this other kind of stuff, right, that you need to do, right? And, like, I get that. I'm not, I'm not, oh my gosh, this hand, dude. That hand just keeps blocking all your rockets. I think it's I am actually quite surprised that EA is letting them do that. But on the last episode of Boss Rush, we did talk about how there's been a lot of changeover at the top of EA, and maybe they want to focus on making the company better for, for a change, and
Right.
having the right, attitude towards games, and maybe it's not all about how much money FIFA is going to make you that year, but actually, like, make it a better soccer game, or Madden a better football game, or Anthem a better game you can play with your friends. So that's just me, though. I really hope that Anthem becomes the game it deserves to be. So, Ed, you're out of rockets again.
I gotta remember where the charge beam is at. I think I passed it up. I think I gotta go back to the beginning.
I don't know. We'll see. And like I said, I think the story was pretty cool. Where, like, I thought a lot of the characters were cool. Like, I didn't mind what I was playing. It's just I was bored playing the missions. Like, that was my biggest takeaway from that. So get him, Ed. Get him. Kill him.
I gotta get this charge beam. I gotta find out where it's at.
Oh no. Oh no. Are you just gonna die?
Yeah.
Well, Ed, we've been going...
I gotta get this charge. I gotta find where the charge piece.
Go
ahead.
We've been going for a half hour, so maybe we'll fight this boss the next time. But I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening, or viewing on stream, I should say. If you're watching on YouTube, remember to subscribe and download the Nintendo Power Block podcast, our Nintendo show. Hopefully you check out our family of shows while you're here, and take a listen and a gander and all that good stuff. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at boss_rush_games, and all of our content on bossrushgames.com. Ed, this was fun.
Yes, it was.
We'll have to do it again next week.
We'll get them, guys.
Yeah.
I'm missing the charge beam, so I need to go get that. So,
yeah. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.